Hello and welcome to See If It Sticks, the news that sticks. Sorry, Dan made me laugh. This is our short form episode. Ow, I just bit my cheek. This is going terribly.
I don't like the idea of you saying that I made you laugh and then using the term short form in the same breath. It wasn't my penis, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. So we take a piece of news or something like that, or pop culture references, and we riff on them for no more than 10 minutes to an hour.
And sometimes we go over an hour.
Yeah. So this week, it's a thing that's near and dear to our hearts. The rise of the robots.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is here. This is from a article I found on the...
Did you forget the name of the word article?
Yeah,
or did you forget
I actually genuinely
where
did.
it came from, the source?
I actually genuinely did.
Dan Hoare believes that robots are awesome and cool.
I like cars.
Yes. This is from an article on Mail Online. And the headline reads, "The creepy robot that can read your mind to draw the exact symbols you're thinking of."
Is that like in Ghostbusters when he's holding up the cards?
Kind of.
Wait,
I knew there was some secret to Darren Brown.
The AI can accurately redraw symbols and numbers based on brain activity through fMRI scans. A mind-reading AI...
What's the F for? What's the F stand for?
Frequency.
Frequency? Yeah,
Frequency modulation, isn't it? FM?
No, it's
F-
MRI. fMRI.
Oh, okay. What's an MRI stand for?
Magnetic resonance imaging.
Yes.
A mind-reading AI that can work out that what you're looking at by reading your brain signals has been developed by scientists. The machine reads brain activity to decipher handwritten letters and numbers seen during scans. The research is a big step towards direct telepathic communication between humans and computers that could lead to the decoding of mental images or even dreams.
Or even Siri without talking.
An AI has been developed... Blah, blah, blah. The new software can read brain activity and decode it to figure out what the brain
activity.
Brain activity and decode it.
You're thinking of a number one.
What the brain.
You're drawing a triangle.
As humans read symbols and objects, the visual cortex lights up in complex three-dimensional patterns.
Okay.
So it can read from those patterns what you're seeing.
Okay. Oh, so what did the F stand for?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I'm getting that this is wireless. It can read your mind wirelessly.
So I'm assuming
it's still in an MRI.
the scans have been done, and then it looks at the scans and can tell what we've been looking at.
Right, okay.
So all it needs to do now is be able to scan us while we stand in front of it.
During experiments, the machine was able to accurately draw what people were looking at during functional MRI brain scans. So it's looking at the brain scan as it
Is that what
goes.
the F stands for?
Functional.
Is that what the F
Functional
stands for?
MRI.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference between functional MRI and
Is an
regular
MRI a still image and a functional MRI one that moves?
Oh,
Ooh,
yes. I think
be.
you might be right. You know, like you see those
Like a
time
video
lapses
versions.
of like all the colours on the brain. That might be
Yeah.
it. That might be it.
Let's say that's it.
Who would have thought that out of the three of us, Ross would be the closest to being a doctor of medical imaging?
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Ross. You got the beard.
Oh, the researchers claim that their AI is the most accurate of its kind, although they've yet to release exact figures on accuracy. Okay, this is the...
Yeah, 7%. It's still the most accurate.
Yeah.
A preview of the work from scientists at the Chinese Academy of Sciences in Beijing has been uploaded online, but is yet to be peer-reviewed. Oh, okay then.
Okay. So it could just be nonsense then.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Functional MRI scans are used by scientists to read brain activity, allowing them to see which areas of the brain are active during certain tasks. So you were correct, Ross.
They've really buried the lead on that.
Yeah, they really buried the lead on that.
That's really poor writing, actually.
you put that in the beginning.
Whack that in at the beginning, at least, so that people know what the fMRI is.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Who'd have thought there'd be poor writing on the Daily Mail?
Who really thought that? And the Mail Online as well.
I know, right?
I mean, they must have spell checkers online,
It's
right?
almost like it wasn't edited.
Yeah. It Grammarly exists, Mail Online.
It's almost as if their reporters just get to do what they like.
Is it
Totally ungoverned.
I'd just literally make anything up and put it on a page. Any unaccredited, untested, unpeer-reviewed report, they could just whack on the website. Like you would just think that was the case, given that report, wouldn't you?
You would, but actually,
It
Not
could
the
have
I'm
case.
sure. I'm
but,
sure.
But you know,
I'm
these,
sure it's not like that because it's it's a newspaper. It's the longest running newspaper in the UK, isn't it?
It's true.
Is
Yeah,
it really
true,
the
yeah.
longest?
Yeah, most of their views are still from back then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was the ye old internet, crank dial up. So how fast you rolled the crank was as fast as your internet went.
Did the Times? Well, the Daily Mail. Sorry, used to go on a scroll.
Yeah,
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 Scroll it upwards.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so this has taken us closer to the rise of the robots. Because
Yes.
here's the scenario.
I'm gonna say straight away that I'm not cool. I'm not cool with it.
No, think of the scenario, Ross.
Well, Dan doesn't like having his photo taken.
No.
So I mean,
It's after Judgment Day, and they've just put out the T1 million, and the T1 million has a functional MRI scanner in its eyes, so it's peering down at you in its aerial mode from space, and it's just going down, and it can see exactly what you are looking at, and therefore what you're thinking, Ross.
I'm really not cool with it. It's like it's like a bit sort of like the Force, isn't it? Like you can
Little bit.
anticipate someone's movements, or,
Yeah.
or like how when in the Matrix when they sort of learn the martial arts and they sort of really evenly matched and they know what combos they're doing and stuff like that. That's a little bit terrifying because then it hinders the squashing of the computer uprising.
Because this is the thing, like the one edge we have over AI will be
Creative thinking.
creative thinking.
yeah.
Well, it might not be. They might become so advanced that they have the same amount of creative thinking. But then we'll both
Well,
have
if they're
creative
sucking
thinking.
the thoughts out of our brain, then they might.
Yeah,
do,
well, this is the thing.
Yeah.
But then there'll be
You can
if they're
mimic creativity.
if the,
can't they?
yeah if they're able to anticipate our every movement.
yeah, that's not going to be good.
I can imagine in 50 years' time, you and me, Dom, having to go back in time to stop those scientists in Beijing.
It's true. Where's Dan in this
Sneak
scenario?
attack.
Is he the
Dan's
man who
already dead, I'm
created?
afraid.
How did he die?
Somebody read his mind.
And that's why we decided to go
Yeah.
back in time.
We've gone back with. This is for Dan.
So do we have like a
Back in time.
scientist pal?
I want one of you in like the factory, like what's his name, sitting there with the detonator.
Okay. With "This is for Dan" printed on my T-shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So would we have like a scientist pal that creates the time machine for us? Are we like hard-edged robot killers
We'll
in this
steal that.
scenario?
We steal that technology from the machine.
What in a daring raid?
What if your scientist friend is kind of like a
He's a grey.
is a computer, like an old model, and then you go back in time and you stop it, but then you realise that it is me. I've been rebuilt. I was like RoboCop. I was put into a computer and rebuilt.
One, you've become
His
the enemy.
consciousness.
And no,
You're the computer.
because
Right.
a little bit of my consciousness leaked through. So I, with being the only robot with a conscience, stole the time machine to get to you, and that
And you
can
send
be,
us back in
that
time.
can be the big reveal at the end.
But then at the end we come back, and then we're like, "We've done it! 3, 2, 4, X, and 1," and you're like, "Ha ha ha! Now my real plan begins." And then the sequel is me and Ross fighting you, but you've created yourself like this awesome robot body with lots of guns. I'm thinking 90s Marvel style. You may even have some
Really?
pouches
I'm thinking like Wild Wild West style. Like I'll get a big spider
or that,
and just
That'd
my
be
head
terrifying.
on it.
and all you really want is to steal like this cloning technology from the robots so you can feel again. A bit like Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
So you put Maddie in stasis.
My heart is cold.
Yes. Nora.
Maddie.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay. That's an arc right there.
Man, we should write this.
This is a film I would back. Yeah.
No arcs. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm not cool with it. Like, obviously,
He's not cool with not feeling a woman ever again.
'cause as you know, I am a little bit terrified of the government seeing everything that I do online anyway. So the next logical step for this, if they got like,
It's going to be really fucking boring, isn't it, if they sit down and watch what you do on the internet all day?
yeah,
Really boring.
but still, it's the principle. I'm going to end up with like a Magneto style like fMRI blocking helmet.
Dan with a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
You can't catch me! Literal tinfoil hat.
Yeah, I'll just line my baseball caps with foil.
Lead.
Yeah,
That'll make it really heavy.
I'll
Also
probably
make-
lose my hair as well.
Also make
But then
Dan-
also
Dan
you
look
could
dumb.
you could take it off and club someone with it.
Oh yeah,
That could be your weapon.
like Peaky Blinders, but sort
Yeah.
of
More bludgeoning.
peaky bludgeoners.
Peaky bludgeoners, yeah.
Is he called Peaky Blinders because he blinds people?
With his
They've
peak.
got those flat caps, and they've got like razor blades at the front of the peak of it, and
That's why they're called the Peaky Blinders.
Right,
Because
didn't
they
know that.
slash people's eyes, yeah.
Thought
Even
that
I
was-
know that and I haven't fucking watched the show.
I thought that was his
you
name.
totally should. It's a good
Yeah,
watch.
I know. It's one of my on my list. But season 12 of
If you
Always
like-
Sunny just came on Netflix.
If you like Tom Hardy doing that weird voice that he does and everything, then you'll like this show.
Oh, I see. Is it Cillian Murphy doing the same weird voice?
No, Tom Hardy's in it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Cillian Murphy was the main guy in that.
No. Well, yeah. Yes, he is.
He is,
but
yeah.
Tom Hardy's this sort of like Jewish baker gang leader sort of thing.
These are 4 words I always put together. Jewish baker gang leader.
Yeah.
Because
It's like
everything...
the front of the business is like a bakery. So
Oh, right.
he's
Weaponized bagels.
So he's like a yeah.
Peaky
You put
bagels.
it on the end of your gun and it
Yeah.
silences it.
Poison salt beef. Oh,
Oi.
now I want to get some deli meat.
I wouldn't mind.
Oh,
Tom Hardy's also done something else really similar, hasn't he? Taboo? Is it
Taboo. That's not the
Is it not
same
si- is it
though.
not s-
It's
oh,
a period thingy. Taboo.
I believe Maddie watched that or wanted to watch it.
Apparently, it's very, very good from everyone I've heard.
I've heard
I've
that
heard
it's
it's
good. as
It's
well.
on iPlayer now, I think.
Thing is, I think what it is that for me is that there's a lot of that kind of thing knocking around at the moment. There's a lot of sort of like serious mini series, like BBC mini series kind of things,
Yeah.
which look good, and they all have that same kind of vibe about them, like Peaky Blinders and Taboo and things like that. And I'm just a bit sort of like I've just sort of reached my saturation point now. Like I enjoy them, I always enjoy them, and I really enjoy watching Peaky Blinders. But then I just think, how many of these do I need to watch?
Yeah, I mean, a good example I'm using now of like how to do TV is I know you guys probably don't watch it. Is Rick and Morty?
Right? No, I don't. No.
Because the first 2 seasons came out relatively close to each other, but this 3rd season has taken such a long time, and the absolute hype and excitement around this 3rd season
I saw that they debut their
on April Fools because
first
everybody
episode
thought
of-
it was an April Fools,
Yeah.
but it was actually the first episode of the 3rd season, which is very much a thing that show would do.
Yeah.
And it was really, really fucking good. And also, it means Szechuan sauce will be coming back to America because he bangs on about You remember Mulan?
Yeah,
And Szechuan sauce came out at McDonald's, and he bangs on about it throughout the entire
I've
episode.
seen so many things about Szechuan sauce that things like that. You know, that's a sort of another example of something that makes me not want to watch a TV show.
But you should watch it.
But the thing is, it could be the most amazing show in the world. But I know that it's a reference to Rick and Morty, and I've heard exactly what the joke is. And for 2 weeks after the 1st of April, all I saw on any website was Szechuan sauce, Szechuan sauce. Every fucking picture I see shared from the fucking Lad Bible or something, Szechuan sauce, and I just think, fuck you, I'm not watching this shit now. It could literally be, it could save my life to watch it. The doctors could say all he needs to do is watch every episode of Rick and Morty, and I'll go, fuck you, Szechuan sauce.
Do you know what? You could watch the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty in a tight 4 hours,
Well,
if that. I'd recommend it.
I'll give it a go at some point.
I'll watch it when
Animated,
I'm dead.
right?
Huh?
It's
Animated, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the premise? Sell it to me.
Basically, it's from like it sprouted from an indie cartoon festival where this guy called Justin Roiland made a short about like what if Marty and Doc, like from Back to the Future,
Yes, sorry,
and Doc was a little bit like of an old drunk, and Marty was like a fucking weakling, like fucking sad sack. And he did this show, and then it basically evolved into Rick and Morty. And Rick is Morty's granddad, and he's a mad scientist. It's very nihilistic as well. Like it sort of explores all those nothing really matters type themes. And he's like a drunk old mad scientist, and he creates all this crazy sci-fi shit, and they just basically go on sci-fi adventures in lots of different. And it's all multi-dimensional, and there's a lot of like sort of. They like sort of try and make it like there's no arcs in it whatsoever, but there are mini arcs, and you sort of explore. You know, it explores depression, it explores sort of trying to find your place in the world, and it explores, you know, family relationships. It's very good. Dan Harmon is one of the co-producers and writers of it. And if you like anything Dan Harmon related, it's worth a
What
watch.
has Dan Harmon done other than that?
Community. If you've ever watched Community, he's done a lot of things. He's had his hand in a lot of things. He's sort of like a bit of a
Fingers in the pies guy.
yeah. He's sort of like a pop culture sort of fixer when for writing and stuff like that as well. Yeah, I'd recommend it.
I shall watch it.
I'll watch it
Something
when
I mean
everyone
to
else
watch.
hates it.
And I haven't seen anything about Szechuan sauce, so
That's because you deleted Facebook.
I have, yeah.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah,
It's a more peaceful world that I live in.
Is
yeah.
it?
My
Without
mind isn't full of other people's bullshit.
without irrational hatred of Rick and Morty because people.
Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of things, though. You know, like that is a common
That's
question.
probably one of the reasons I haven't watched Peaky Blinders.
It's a common question that I see on the internet is like, what do you refuse to watch because you hate the fans?
Yeah, and that's one of them.
A lot of that kind of stuff I refuse to watch because I just cannot stand.
But I'm a big fan of that sort of thing, and I hate like fans like that. But I still watch the thing because it's worth watching on its own merits.
It just sours it for me. Maddie watches Adventure Time, but again, I go down. There's
I'm not a massive fan. of
I see
Adventure Time,
like Adventure Time like being screened in places where there's like it's kind of like one of those like I'm so random kind of people like Adventure Time, and like when Maddie watches it, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world, but
No.
I'm just totally sour on it because any random moment I think, oh god, like fucking those I'm so random poke those kind of fucking people. That's the kind of shitheads that watch that show. I'm so fucking random. I hated those people.
I had
at
that with
school.
Game of Thrones. Everyone was talking about it so much.
You've never watched Game of Thrones,
Still
either.
I haven't watched
No, that's the reason
one
I haven't-
single minute of Game of Thrones.
That's why I've never watched Peaky Blinders, because everyone bangs on about it, and I'm just like, but if I watch it, I'm gonna bang on about it, and I don't want to.
I watched one of the episodes and I got really bored. So, first episode maybe. Probably.
But then I didn't like Luther, and a lot of other people like Luther.
Oh,
I
I
quite
like
liked
Luther.
Luther.
I don't like it. It was just
It's like
I just
Sherlock,
sat-
but better.
oh, I don't like Sherlock either particularly.
Oh, okay. Yes,
But it's got that BBC look to it, and it was just like it's trying to be American, and it looks like the BBC because there's a certain budget, and it has to be filmed in some like weird southeast London street where no one is at like 4 a.m.
Aside from having to watch my missus rub one out while we're watching it, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, that's why you like Luther.
She likes-
You're told you like Luther.
She likes the Idris, does
She
she?
does like the bit of the Idris, yeah.
Um,
And I hear once you go Idris, you never go back.
well, that's what I've heard.
I can imagine.
That gravelly voice over you, breathing into your ear.
He's a big guy.
It's
He
making
is,
it's
yeah.
making me quiver at the knees just thinking about it. But what was I going to say? Yeah, Luther. I didn't like it. I was just predicting it every 5 seconds. I was like, and then obviously that first episode. I watched that first episode with the dog, and I was like, that's going to be that, and that's going to be that. And she's really the villain because she's coming across a bit weird, and that's why. And when
Spoilers, everyone.
And when someone's weird, that generally means they're the villain, because really, like normal people who just watch TV all day need to be signposted as to who the bad people are. So therefore,
Do you not think that first episode of Luther where she just changes?
no,
was
because it's
really good.
obvious from the fucking start.
Yeah, it is, but I
It's
just-
so obvious, Ross. It's
know.
like, and also from a logical standpoint, looking at it with an analytical mind, it would be too outrageous for anything else to have happened within the confines of reality. If you get what I'm saying. So logic dictates that it was her.
But at that point, I didn't
But
know what that show was.
any like regular copper or detective worth their salt, she would have been the prime suspect from the very fucking start.
Oh, John's just following his nose. That's what he does best. He goes on.
I got a
gut.
hunch, Chief.
He goes on guts.
I got a hunch. I missed out not being a detective, I think.
Whenever there's a dead dog, he blames the daughter.
All I got to say is I wasn't a fan.
Can you imagine that Dom being a detective in real life though? Like, you're under arrest. Why? You're a little bit weird, and my
You're obvious.
TV senses tell me that you must be guilty. That man over there's got a knife. Of course I'm weird. I've just watched
that's
a
too
man.
obvious.
I've just watched a man be killed.
No,
Yes.
that's a red herring.
You're not reading the signs.
Yes.
In about 2.5 hours' time, this is all going to pan out. This is all going to come up dumb.
It's all coming up, Millhouse. Anyway, on that note, I think we better stop because it's gone over too long. As I said, between 10 minutes and an hour. That's been the news that sticks for this week. I've been your lovely, lovely host, Dominic Alexander.
Self-proclaimed. I've been Ross.
Dan thinks robots are awesome and cool.
No, Dan, no! Put away the retractable spinner! Ross, get the shotguns! Dun 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 dun.